Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how you doing? Already Stormy, thank you. We've got a lot to talk about today. I know already. It's been a day. I'm like, I want to give up sometimes because, you think when, one thing is over with, another shiny object just comes flying by. Stormy your religion. So grab your coffee, right? Yeah. You just can't get enough, can you? And maybe a snack. I don't know. Let's get into it, shall we? So, have you've heard, right, about the trout, okay? Because I know Jason over at the Anchor Prepper, he talked about it, right? You might as well just build a pond in your backyard and go fishing there because it's getting ridiculous. They're trying every which way to I'm just going to say it. And I've already raised too many red flags. My mouth gets me into trouble anyway, so who cares? Start us out. Okay, so there's that. Okay, that links will always be in the description box below, so you guys can have your references. Okay, so bacteria with the trout. Okay, the pigs over in Japan. Sorry, not in Japan. It's called Japanese encephalitis over in Australia. All right. Now, I'm sure you've heard about this, okay? Why don't they just sew our mouths shut? Because that's obviously what they want to do, because the regime, okay, they created something called a Disinformation Governance Board. Yeah, because they just want us to shut up. They want us to shut up because they don't like people like me, people like Jason, people like Pinball. They don't like us because we're truth sayers, and we put everything out there because they know that people in our community, we're not the ones that will believe what's on TV. So it's just, our First Amendment is pretty much null and void. That's why I constantly have to watch what I say. Even when I title my videos, I have to be so careful. Even with what I type, I can get flagged. And it's just, did you ever think that living in America, that this would even happen? No, you didn't. I never thought. So, I can't seem to grasp and wrap my mind around everything that's going on. And sometimes I feel like I get overwhelmed because, and I know you guys do too, because I get emails all the time saying, I got to step away. Yeah, believe me, I want you to. But if I do, you guys won't be told the truth. So I keep going and I keep going and I keep going. So will they shut me up eventually? Will I come back with a vengeance? You damn straight. But, I just, I feel that it's our God-given right to know. It is. So there's a few things that I'm going to show you. Okay, there's a few more things that we're going to talk about. All right, and here's one of them. In Columbus, Georgia, okay, you want to talk about empty shelves, especially when it comes to our baby formula. And I know you're probably thinking to yourself, Autumn, seriously? Yeah. Guys, we're in a world of hurt right now. And the ones that are going to be suffering the most are our children. And that hurts. It hurts me as a mom, as an aunt. And even though I'm not raising an infant, you know, one of my nephews is a dad of an infant, and his fiance has another one on the way. So yeah, this affects me. And I'm sure it affects all of you too. So if the power goes out and you need coffee, we all need coffee. Who the heck can go a day? I know I certainly can't. A subscriber has a suggestion, and it's Folgers Instant Coffee Crystals. I buy this. You can either get it in like these little single packets, and I've seen them at Dollar Tree, the single packets. Or I think that you can also get them in jars. She said she found them at Target's for 89 cents. And each box comes with 7 little packets. These can be affordably stockpiled and or placed in a bug out bag for quick activation or whenever needed. Yeah. I think it's a great prep. Hello, kitty. One of her pictures has her kitty in it. So, did you know about this other coincidence in Virginia for the Purdue facility? Yeah. And I'll leave the link in the description box below. And the subscriber that sent this to me, she said, I also wanted to mention this as a caution to everyone. I started mostly eating my preps about 6 weeks ago because I'm moving. And I'm concerned about having to move so many boxes, and because of some unexpected expenses that have made funds very tight. All I can say is when you start eating 90% of your preps, they go fast. I really worry about people who are only buying a few extra items. I can only hope that I will have the funds and ability to buy again next month after the move. Take care. Yeah. I agree with you. You know, when you start, you know, eating your preps, you know, you have to remember, you know, always, you know, it's not just eating your preps, you know, are you keeping up with the inventory of everything that you're eating? Okay. And also, do you have money, you know, to back up those preps to replenish those preps? That's the thing. So that's a very good point that you brought up, sweetheart. So also, this was brought to my attention, and I'm not going to get too much into it. Potato Secretary of Agriculture, Tom Vilsack. Does anybody know if he really truly was taken into custody? I don't know. And also, I know we've gone over this, but let's touch on it once again. Here is the list of the nationwide from 2021 to 2022 of all of the food plants and distribution centers. Made Right Steak Company, food processing plant in San Antonio, Texas, and the Made Right Steak Company was in Pennsy. Cargill, Neutrogena, or Nutrena, did I say that? I don't know why I said Neutrogena. It looks like they say Los Angeles. Fandruin in Illinois. Potato plant in Maine. Potato plant in Washington State. Harper's Market, Ontario, Canada. Mauston, Mauston, meat processing plant in Wisconsin. Bonanza Meat Company in El Paso, Texas. Sheorers, Sheorers Foods in Oregon. Nestle Hot Pockets plant in Arkansas. Walmart Distribution Center, Indiana. Walmart Storefront, Edgewood, New Mexico. Walmart Storefront, Clark County, Las Vegas, Nevada. Rio Fresh Onion Facility, Southern Texas. East Conway Beef and Pork, New Hampshire. Deli Star, Illinois. Tyson Poultry Plant in Kentucky. Rice Dryer at Kellogg's Plant in Indiana. Tyson Feed Ingredients in Alabama. Meat Provider in Georgia. JBS Meat Plant in Nebraska. Smithfield Food Plant in North Carolina. Fertilizer Plant in North Carolina. Wisconsin River Meats. Louis Dreyfus, largest soy processing plant in U.S. and Indiana. Potato plant processor in Oregon. Fertilizer plant in Kansas. Plane crash near General Mills cereal plant in Georgia. Plane crash into Gem State potato processing facility in Idaho. East Conway Beef and Pork Butcher Shop and Meat Market in Maine. Industrial Food Preparation and Processing Facility in Quebec, Canada. Maricopa Food Pantry in Arizona. Patak, P-A-T-A-K, Meat Production Company in Georgia. And River Valley Ingredient Plant in Alabama. So there's that. Unbelievable. And this subscriber, she said, just a reminder, powdered Jello is a cheap source of protein. You could buy it for $1 to $1.25 at Dollar Tree or Dollar General, and it stores very well. I didn't know Jello was a source of protein. Good to know. No kidding. Very good to know. Okay, so here's this, all right? And when this subscriber, when she sent me this email today, I was a little taken back, and I was like, wow, so this is happening again. Last year, yeah, it was last year. A lot of you guys were telling me that you were getting phone calls from a 3-letter agency, starts with a C, ends with a C. All right. And I said, whoa, wait a minute. You know, why? What is it with the phone calls, right? So she gets a hold of me. And so listen to this email real quick, okay? And she said, I usually don't like ranting through email, but as you saw my headline, which is C to this, you know, it's a rant. And I've always told you guys, if you have to get something off your chest, if you want to rant, email me. I don't care. I will read it. Okay? Whatever the case may be, I am here for you. All right? She said, I've gotten calls from them wanting to do a survey. What's funny is I've blocked their number 3 times. They're still calling. So I answered with a stern voice, is this a survey? Her reply is, yes, it is. My response that I give everyone who calls me wanting us to do a survey, I don't have time. And then she says, well, we can reschedule. I don't have time to do surveys. I'm working on a blanket for one of my kids and I'm listening, she says. She's listening to one of my videos. No, girl, no. I should have asked her if she has an hour for me ranting on while the headline rat should be fired. Maybe that Rand Paul guy is onto something. I'm not part of his party, but just maybe he's onto something. I don't trust them with a 10-foot pole, especially when they're sending our tax dollars overseas for whatever function research they're doing. I hate doing surveys because my opinion doesn't count. And why are they calling me? That just sends up a red flag. I didn't get it. Are they fishing? And the crazy thing, why didn't they call my husband? He got it. And right after he got it, he got liver disease. And he doesn't drink, right? In over 43 years. So it makes me wonder, what's going on? I had to hang up on the poor girl because I knew shite was about to come out of my mouth. She said, I'm just curious. How many others have gotten that phone call? I haven't gotten the phone call. But now I'm going to sit and wait. Because this is interesting. I haven't gotten the phone call yet. So on to this. This is interesting. We've talked in length about Blackrock and Vanguard. Yeah? Many people are still blissfully unaware of what's happened, right? But the global food supply chain has largely taken over by the oligarchs, including financial giants like Blackrock and Vanguard, right? And it turns out that Blackrock and Vanguard have been gradually gobbling up ownership of the means of production, and now intend to lord it over the masses by centralizing all food production technologies in the United States and enslaving everyone under their control. So the top 3 shareholders of CDC Industry Holdings, the world's largest fertilizer company, include both Blackrock and Vanguard. Okay. Blackrock and Vanguard are also the top shareholders in Union Pacific, the railroad giant that moves the fertilizer and other agricultural inputs, all across the country. Now, the world's top 10 food companies are also largely owned by both Blackrock and Vanguard. And these companies include Nestle, PepsiCo, General Mills, Kellogg's, Associated British Foods, Mondelez, I don't know, MOOACE, Danone, is that Danone? Is that what that is? Do they own Danone, like yogurt, right? Unilever and Coca-Cola. Now, what happens when they control all the seeds, the produce, and the meat? What happens? What happens when produce and meat are all grown inside secure facilities? After a gene splice or inside a petri dish. Farmland becomes dormant, due to overreaching regulations, lack of supplies, manufacturing, inflation. But we've talked about this in previous videos. Now, Blackvard, you might as well just group them together and just call them one company, right? Blackrock and Vanguard's influence over CF Industries Holdings and T. Rowe Price Associates is having a major and direct impact on farming in the Midwest. It is also important to note that Union Pacific recently began mandating railroad shipping reductions of 20%, further impacting American agriculture. This will directly impact key agricultural areas such as Iowa, Illinois, Kansas, Nebraska, Texas, and California. This will ultimately affect food supply and pricing. CF Industries is only one of 30 companies dealing with these restrictions. Now, another major transporter of agricultural goods, the Canadian National Railway, is reportedly trying to help the fertilizer market grow. But its largest owner is none other than Billy Boy, who is buying up all the farmland, which we know, and he's supposedly growing all the potatoes for McDonald's French fries. So now back to Blackrock and Vanguard. Okay, the finance giants are also top shareholders in App Harvest. It's a Kentucky-based agricultural company that boasts one of the biggest greenhouses in the world. It's 2.76 million square feet on 60 acres. Yeah. Now, the facility grows only tomatoes, which are sold at Kroger, Meijer, and Walmart's. Then there's Hydrofoam Holdings, which is in Pennsylvania. Now, this company, they only grow crops in a controlled environment with vertical farming technology. And Blackrock and Vanguard are top shareholders in this company as well. So, BlackRock currently boasts more than $20 trillion in investments, all of which follow the ESG and socially responsible guidelines required by its CEO, Larry Fink. Now, Fink, he's infamously stated that it's time to force people's behavior to change. Really, Fink? And he's apparently doing that by seizing control of Americans' agriculture. So despite the LED lighting, there are the robotics, computer data analysis, and ventilation systems required to power vertical growing facilities in this magnitude, since water is being saved and less of Billy Boy's landmass, is being used. Investments are flowing into these alleged sustainable, environmentally friendly facilities, as well as massive greenhouses. It's disgusting. So I'm going to urge you once again, if you haven't already, start your victory gardens, your freedom gardens. Victory gardens was what they were called during the Great Depression. So let's start calling them freedom gardens. Okay? Because this is getting ridiculous. It's time to force people's behavior to change. Listen here, Finkel. Finkel is Einhorn, Einhorn is Finkel. Sorry, I'm a movie buff. This is getting ridiculous. So this is how they're going to control our food. Grow your own. I know one of the biggest accomplishments that a prepper can do is to become a homesteader. But see, that's what they're going to try and do, is to stop that altogether. They don't want us having our own backyards. They don't want us having our own farmlands. They don't want us having our own gardens. They don't want us having our own anything. They want us completely dependent on them. Nay, nay, not this community. Stand up and fight, darn it. Become self-sustainable as much as you possibly can. Whether you're in an apartment, whether you're in a home, it doesn't matter. You can do this. You're in this community. You can do it. I know you can. All right, guys, I'm out of here. I love you. I'll see you in the next one. You stay safe. You stay positive. You keep prepping, and as always, fear less.